Ladies and gentlemen, with this particular story, it hits kind of close to home for me because, I have a teenage daughter. I am a father. I do care. I watch what a lot of young girls, a lot of women go through when it comes to these violent relationships. And sometimes you get so caught up in your feelings and your emotions that you really don't see the yellow flags and red flags until it's too late, and it can cause a lot of bad stuff to happen. And I don't want any women to suffer. I want to make sure and protect them, but I think you can arm yourself with information, and you have to be able to listen to men, especially when it comes from a man giving you game about other men, right? With this particular situation, we have a young girl, and it breaks my heart for a couple different reasons. First of all, if my big sister in Florida is listening, I want to say I love you, and I miss you. I'll see you soon. But my big sister actually suffered a loss because her husband, and shout out to TD if you're listening, brother, I love you as well. But he lost his daughter almost in the exact same fashion. As a matter of fact, it was actually very close to Florida, okay? Because this happened in Georgia. But they ended up losing their daughter because their daughter was dating an individual who lost his damn mind and murdered her. Okay? This story is so similar, which is why it really hits home for me in a lot of different ways. A Middle Georgia family had stopped to visit their mother's gravesite over the weekend when they discovered the body of a Metro Atlanta teenager, a female, who had been shot to death. Now authorities say that the man responsible is in custody because initially they didn't even know who it was that did this, okay? The individual, because he's not a man, he's not even a human. Let me see if I can get his face back up here. Hold on. That dummy that y'all see on my screen right there, again with neck tattoos. Y'all can get mad at my opinion about neck tattoos and face tattoos all the hell you want to until y'all can prove me that I'm wrong about what I'm saying. I think it's something wrong mentally with people that got damn neck tattoos. It's a bad sign, especially when you're 22 years old. That this grown ass dummy, this individual's name is Jalen Jashad Ray, 22 years old, of Albany, and he was captured in Tallahassee, Florida. On Wednesday morning, after investigators received a tip linking him to the death of that girl that you see on my screen, her. That is 17-year-old Deshanti Kiani Hunter. I'm going to just call her Deshanti Hunter. 17 years old. She's a beautiful girl, by the way. That young woman is a very beautiful woman. And she's just young. I believe she had her whole life ahead of her. Lamar County Sheriff Brad White said, the Ellenwood teen was found in the back of a Barnesville cemetery. That's how demonic that individual is. He shot her and killed her and left her in a cemetery. Y'all know how sick that is? And they found this girl laying on the ground on her back in a cemetery on Sunday afternoon after the family visited their loved one's grave, the sheriff said. Deputies were called to the cemetery around Unionville Church near High Falls State Park around 2:30 p.m., approximately 24 hours after Hunter was last seen. They looked at the back of the cemetery about 100 yards away and thought somebody had dumped trash or something. So they went back there and they saw that it was a young lady laying on the ground. Now, of course, we're not going to show you that picture because it's really not in good taste to show that. I'm not going to show that. They immediately left and called 911. White told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, there aren't many homicides in the rural in the rural county, and that locals were surprised by the grisly discovery. I don't know how rare it is in Metro Atlanta, but it's definitely rare for us, he said. Now, the girl, Hunter, was found on her back with at least one gunshot wound. The tire tracks were discovered nearby, but investigators are still working to determine if the teen was killed there or if she was shot somewhere else and then dumped at the cemetery. Now, the tip was received that afternoon that led detectives to Albany, where a search was conducted at Ray's mother's apartment. So this little punk-ass boy right here was a coward, and he ran to his mama's house after he killed his girlfriend. Yes, he is a punk-ass coward. He's not a man. Ran to his mama's house. That ought to tell you about the mentality of these ignorant-ass thugs. Because guess what? When you date thugs, you date death. That's actually one of our hashtags. There's a reason I say that. Stupid is as stupid thugs. Right? There's a reason I use these hashtags, because I want people to understand how insane it is for you guys to continue to keep doing something that you see is causing these young women's demise. Now, I want to also give a shout out to the person that saw something and said something, realized that something was wrong, realized that he went to go hide at his mama's house and told on his ass. So kudos, because he didn't deserve to be hid, and his mama deserves to have her ass whooped for hiding her son like that. Anyway, the 22-year-old's car was seized by the GBI. Investigators discovered not one, but 2 guns inside his vehicle, but they're still working to determine if either was used in the teen's shooting. They're also checking to see if his tires matched the tracks that were left at the crime scene. They uncovered enough evidence at the apartment to secure murder warrants for Mr. Ray, White said. The South Georgia man was captured in Florida at about 11:30 a.m. Wednesday with the help of U.S. Marshals Service. Now, investigators are still trying to figure out how the two of them knew each other. I'm telling y'all, it was her damn boyfriend. I don't need to hear from the family. Let me see. I got a few pictures that shouldn't be in there, but it's okay. I don't need to hear from the family. I don't need confirmation from anybody. I'm telling y'all, what he did was evil. It was enraged, and it was a crime of passion. What he did was probably because this insane individual, was dating that 17-year-old girl. I want y'all to remember that he is, 22 years old? Yep. That sounds about right. This young, cute girl and this thuggish, ruggish looking dude right here, that sounds about right. Sounds like a match made in heaven, right? But they say they're still trying to figure out how they knew each other and how Hunter ended up 40 miles away from her home. So I'm assuming probably what he did was she probably said that she was going to break up with him, and he kidnapped her and drug her off and went and shot her and killed her. So I'm going to skip this part where it says they don't know what their relationship was. I'm telling y'all, that's probably what it was. Ray, who is charged with murder and aggravated assault, is being held at the Leon County, Florida jail as he awaits extradition to Georgia. White said he's relieved an arrest was made so quickly, calling the GBI and the Marshal Service a huge asset in cracking this case. I'm glad it happened so quick, because coming from Atlanta 40 miles away, we thought maybe it was just a body dump, the sheriff said. We didn't know if we were even going to be able to tie it to anybody. So I'm glad that they were able to figure that out. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Sad, man. Let's get it.
The sheriff says he's confident his investigators will make an arrest in the murder of a teenager found shot to death in a cemetery.
But this one is a mystery. Her family says she left home in Ellenwood to travel just a few miles for work at a nearby Walmart, but never arrived. Her body was found at a cemetery in Barnesville. That's more than an hour away. Her family told Channel 2's Tom Jones they don't know how she got there.
We got along perfect. I love her so much.
Jasmine Johnson says her 17-year-old niece, Deshante Hunter, had dreams of going places. The teen's family can't understand how she ended up 70 miles away from home, dead in this Lamar County cemetery.
This is crushing us. They stole from us. This is wrong. This is wrong, more than wrong.
Jasmine says she talked to Deshante Friday. She was on the way to work. Then Saturday, family realized no one had heard from her.
It was a panic. Okay, Shanti, we haven't heard from Shanti later on, Saturday, and discovered her body on Sunday.
She was laying right here on her back. Her clothes were still on.
Lamar County Sheriff Brad White told me someone visiting their loved one's gravesite on High Falls Road noticed something strange. He quickly realized it was a body. Someone had shot Deshante.
Do you think they drove her here or they walked back here?
No. We had tire tracks. We feel quite confident that they drove her back here.
The question now is why. Jasmine wants anyone who knows who her niece was with and why to give officers a call.
And why did she end up at a place where she wasn't supposed to be instead of work? That would really, 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 really help us.
That was Channel 2's Tom Jones reporting. Now, Tom says the sheriff told him investigators have several people they want to talk with, and they're looking for them. He promises to solve Hunter.
Now to some other top stories we are following for you from around the metro today. Lamar County deputies have identified a Georgia teen found dead in a cemetery over the weekend. Deputies say they found the body of 17-year-old Deshante Hunter Sunday afternoon. She was in a secluded part of the cemetery across from Unionville Church on High Falls Park Road. We're told the Ellenwood teen had been shot once. Her death is now being investigated as a homicide.
New at 6, a disturbing murder case in Lamar County has resulted in an arrest after a teenager was found dead in a cemetery.
The girl's body was found Sunday. CBS 46's Yasmina Alston has details from the sheriff who spoke within the last hour.
A 22-year-old man is now in custody for the murder of 17-year-old Deshante Kiani Hunter, who is from Ellenwood, but her body was found over 40 miles away. This man, 22-year-old Jalen Jashad Ray, is facing a murder charge. He is accused of killing 17-year-old Deshante Kiani Hunter, whose body was found in a cemetery across from Unionville Church in Barnesville. The Lamar County Sheriff's Office says she had been shot. Lamar County Sheriff Brad White spoke with CBS 46 and says this type crime is shocking.
Yeah, crimes like this doesn't happen down here much. So, I don't know if it's terrible that it happens anytime. And if it happens here, we throw all of our resources at it. It's probably the reason we had an arrest within 48 hours.
Ray, who is from Albany, was arrested in Tallahassee, Florida on Wednesday. This picture shows Ray being taken into custody. Sheriff White says right now they don't know what the relationship was between the two. And the sheriff's office does say that warrants have been taken out for murder and aggravated assault. In DeKalb County, Yasmina Alston, CBS 46 News.
Yasmina.
And I know people might be wondering, why was a 22-year-old with a 17-year-old? Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's common knowledge to me, but that's pretty normal for somebody in their really early 20s to try to date somebody who was in their late teens. Like there have been larger age gaps. Maybe somebody who's 25 trying to date somebody who's 18 or whatever the case is. But if you've been a teenager and you've been in high school, then y'all know, or at least y'all should know, that high schoolers generally are always trying to date somebody older than them. I know I did. At 17 and 18 years old, I always dated older women. The girls always dated older boys. So that's actually very, very common. That's why I'm saying this was probably her disgruntled boyfriend.
Yeah, thank you.
Here are some other stories we are following around the state today. A man accused tonight of killing an Ellenwood teenager. 22-year-old Jalen Ray was arrested in Tallahassee today. He is facing murder charges in 17-year-old Deshante Hunter's death. Deputies tell us Hunter's body was found in a secluded part of a cemetery over the weekend. We're told she had been shot once.
Now, let me say this. I know there are people out there that think I'm wrong about my theory about when I say when you date thugs, you date death. But I'm going to call something out real quick if y'all don't mind. And this I found on Facebook. It's still there right now, which is, let me show y'all the picture that I had, which is this picture right here. I found this on Facebook. I just simply Google searched their names and this came up. And somebody is actually calling this this dude right here. They're referring to him as a gang member. So let me point something out when I say when you date thugs, you date death. They wrote, Lamar and Daugherty counties. Gang member from Albany, GA, Jalen Jashad Ray, a.k.a. J. Ray, arrested in Tallahassee, Florida, in relation to the murder of Deshaunte Keani Hunter of Atlanta. The body of Deshaunte was found in a cemetery in Lamar County last week. Jalen Ray, a.k.a. J. Ray, is a member of a violent local gang in Albany, Georgia called the Rattlers, sometimes referred to as Sun Gang. Sun Gang. The gang has criminal gang connections in Atlanta. The gang's primary hand sign, what people outside of the gang may call a surf's up hand sign. Their primary gang color of representation is, ready for it? Yellow. That's according to Community Watch North Georgia Atlanta Metro Area page, which is a public group, which is where I found the picture and the information. They're saying that, so it's hashtag not my words. That's their words. I'm just giving y'all the information to confirm my suspicion that this fool is a thug and an idiot and a waste of life and skin. He is a waste of time for any woman to have ever talked to him, dated him, courted him, been around him, tried to raise him. He should have never have been born. But to these young ladies, this girl was old enough to make decisions for herself. She was headed to work, and she was probably kidnapped by her boyfriend because he was pissed off about whatever the case is. And that's why I say to these young girls, and I teach my daughter as well as other young women and even some older women, I have to teach them the same thing. When you see these yellow flags and red flags, it's best to avoid them. You can judge a book by its cover, and for anybody saying that you should not judge a book by its cover is stupid. Stupid, stupid. Stupid is as stupid thugs. Absolutely judge a book. Judge a book as harshly as you want to until that book proves that it doesn't fall under those stereotypes. I don't see nothing wrong with that, because you know what that does? It puts the accountability on the person that you're judging, okay? And they have to outlive those stereotypes. It's not a bad thing. It would actually cause us to have better human beings, better citizens, better law-abiding citizens. And on top of that, for people who say that you should not judge, and they say the Bible says don't judge, how long have I been telling y'all Bible thumpers to stop just quoting the Bible if you don't know what you're talking about? Okay? I used to be a youth counselor for Kennecott camps back in the day. Okay? This is an environment that I come from, and I can tell you guys, the Bible says, judge lest thou be judged. Meaning that whatever standard you judge somebody by, be prepared to be judged by that exact same standard. Jesus judged, God judges. Christian means a little Christian, Christ-like. So if we're to be Christ-like, then we should judge as well. That makes us better. Iron sharpens iron. Oh crap, did I just get to preaching? It's getting a little hot up in here. Maybe I know I might have lit a fire under somebody's behind right about now, but it's the truth. Y'all just let me know when I say something that's not factually accurate. I'm speaking out of love. I'm speaking out of experience. And I'm telling you guys, I've seen the streets. I've seen the gangs. I've been a part of a lot of bull crap in my life. And I think that the best person to try to teach the world and make the world a better place is somebody who comes from a mentality, from a not so reputable mentality, somebody who kind of comes and understands that mindset to be able to teach the next generation not to be like that. every day we could wake up and make better decisions and choose to not either grow up to be like him, do stupid stuff like he did. And for that young woman, she could have easily have just avoided this individual. It's good to not get caught up with people like that. So like I say, you know, to the young ladies, continue to protect yourselves. Be careful who you date and make wise decisions, because those decisions could cost you dearly. So to that young woman, that young girl, R.I.P. Young Princess. I'm DJ Just Jay. We're the AFC. We'll be continuing to advocate for our children first. Hopefully people can learn something from this. Y'all click that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and come back and come check us out.